What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of Crypto Catch Up. Now today we're going to be doing a video on a coin that exists. It's not an ICO. It never even had an ICO. It is fully self-funded and it's worked on actually by a team of people, but one of those being Albert Molina, who is from Spain, but actually a large portion of it comes out of Brisbane in Australia, if you weren't aware. Now, that is a team from Sphere 10, which is a Brisbane-based company which do a range of different projects. But one of the main guys there, Herman, he kind of like hands out devs to these guys to help with the project. Like I said, fully self-funded, no pre-mine, no ICO, no private sales or anything like that. So there's a reason why I like this coin, and that's why I really want to get into it, is because this coin has virtually zero marketing going on. They are so focused on the technology and getting it right. It's not a big hype-based thing. But when we get to the end and we have a look at its market capitalization and the, I guess what a large bull run could do, this coin and its technology go hand in hand with a very good potential pick. Now, this is not financial advice, but it is certainly something that a lot of people have taken a look at, but just haven't been really bullish on. Now, this to me is like a coin like Nano, or what used to be Ryblox. Ryblox went from nothing to absolute moon landing in late 2017, early 2018, from cents to $40 odd or something absurd like that. This could very well be a coin that does that in the near future, once they get their technology right and they can start spending more money on the marketing aspects. So let's have a look into the genesis of PascalCoin. Alright, so its ticker name is Pasc, P-A-S-C. Now, it's a ground up cryptocurrency. It's not based on Bitcoin. It's not based on Ethereum. It has been built in free Pascal. Now, Pascal, when you think of it and you go, wait a minute, that's a really old language. Yes, that's true, but this is free Pascal. It is an object-oriented language that has been improved on since the original Pascal came out. Now, it's a reliable and instant cryptocurrency, and what I want to really say here is that it's focused on being a cryptocurrency and being that only. So unlike what Ethereum does and looked at Bitcoin and try to improve on its failures by being more generic and applying to everything, Pascal really only wants to be a cryptocurrency. Now, obviously, there's thousands of them out there, which makes this even harder to penetrate the market, but it definitely has aspects of it which make it incredibly valuable moving forward. So it has zero conf transactions, I should say, so that, you don't have to wait around 6 confirmations like Bitcoin to have some form of finality where you go, yeah, I don't think this is going to be double spent anymore. So it has no need for the Lightning Network or any second layer for actual speed or zero confirmation kind of properties, but it does enable that second layer kind of protocols for other use cases, which we'll go through shortly. It is actually one of the only ones, and if not the best implementation of using common everyday account numbers and types. So as an example, 1234 suffix 56. It makes it very easy for you or I to send around our Pasc to others or pay for different things. It even enables you to use your email, your company name, or even a domain name like your, cryptocatchup.com, google.com, or anything like that, just like a domain name server. It has, like I said, layer 2 applications and the ability to embed smart contracts. So some examples of that are chat rooms, the underlying Pascal token. So just like Ethereum's ERC20, you could create your own sub-Pascal tokens, a decentralized exchange possibly, chat rooms, monetized APIs, or a decentralized marketplace which enables you to have one-click e-commerce transactions where all you need to do is send over a payload code to make that transaction to a particular account number or, like we've said, domain name. it has infinite scaling. Now, that is very much a buzzword in cryptocurrency right now. Everyone goes, oh, I can do this many transactions. Well, the reality of it is infinite scaling in this scenario, or the way that it actually talks about it, is due to the technology called Safebox, which we'll get into shortly. But infinite scaling effectively means that irrespective of how long we go for, 50, 100 years, it actually will be able to scale without using any more storage space than what, you know, Bitcoin and things like that are doing. So right now we know Bitcoin's chain is 160 gig and it's only been around for a couple of years. Now, we're damn sure hoping that Moore's law is going to kick in and transistors are going to become cheaper, because storing that kind of data, syncing a full node on Bitcoin is painful to say the least, let alone players like Bitcoin Cash saying that they're going to scale out to 1 gigabyte blocks. It's absolutely absurd. It is exactly what I guess cryptocurrencies were getting away from in terms of decentralization. You cannot say to me or anybody else that a 1 gigabyte block size is decentralized, because you or I certainly know that even though I earn a good wage at my job, am not going to be storing a block of 1 gigabyte and syncing that over network propagation and the rest of the bottlenecks that could occur in any way, shape or form on my home PC or otherwise. It is wild. Other than that, it currently has 100 transactions per second in production right now, and we'll go through the theoretical nature of this. Obviously, without a coin actually being tested with a large amount of transaction throughput, such as what Bitcoin had in the late 2017, it's really hard to test those because testnets aren't a true indicator of performance. And like I said earlier, it is self-funded, with the main development efforts coming from Albert, who is Spanish, and Herman, who I am looking to try and get an interview with, but I have been told by Sphere 10 directly that they are working on V3, so they aren't able to do that at the point in time, but I am based in Brisbane, so I will be looking to do that in the near future. Alright, so let's have a look at the tech, which is the interesting part of this for me and why I love PascalCoin. So it uses a proof of work. Now everyone goes, oh, that's, you know, wasting energy. Yes, but with the way this is set up, it is the only one that will work with this particular structure or architecture. So it uses that proof of work to remain Byzantine tolerant, to, you know, resist attack, but it's also GPU and ASIC resistant, which means that only your CPU can be utilized to mine this after one of the PascalCoin improvement proposals has been implemented, which means it's going to stay decentralized, specifically because some of the Pasca accounts, or Passer accounts I should say, make it actually a lot harder for mining pools to pay back that money, because we all have this talk about that Bitcoin is, you know, decentralized, but really everybody is caught up in top 5 mining pools or something like that. Now, the best part of this here is Safebox. Now, it's not a novel concept in terms of no one else doing something similar, because as you'll see by the last point in that list is that Mimblewimble, which was practically dropped on a Bitcoin Talk forum in 2016, does implement something similar, but this is very much the best implementation of it to date, and like I said, built from the ground up. So it uses a balance rather than a ledger. So it's state-based and doesn't use an unconfirmed transaction output like Bitcoin does. So it has to manage a whole nother ledger effectively of what was the outcome, or what is the balance to date of everything going on. It is double spend resistant in some way, shape or form, because it doesn't use that UXTO kind of method whereby it doesn't propagate pending transactions to the network. So if you already have one that's going through to a particular account, and in Bitcoin you send another one with a larger fee to, you know, outstrip that initial one, this particular Safebox technology and the consensus algorithms there will not allow for that to occur easily anyway. The checkpoint height has 100 blocks. Now this is the best part of SafeBox. So effectively, SafeBox is a consensus algorithm approach where only the nodes need to store 100 of the latest blocks. And as we go on, it will then take another checkpoint at the next 100 blocks. And like it says there, is that therefore the new nodes only need to store the latest checkpoint, which means they don't need to sync, 160 gig of information, because it stores all of the information of the balance in the Merkle root of that safe box. And what it also means is those account numbers simply have account number inside, and it uses multiple columns like an Excel spreadsheet, like a normal ledger, and it goes account number, this is the balance, this is the name, etc, etc, and it's kind of like identifying features for it, or primary keys to link to different elements. Now, it has dynamic scaling blocks, so effectively based on current Bitcoin nodes and what they're required to do computationally to maintain the network, you're talking about something that could be 5.4 gigabyte block sizes, because they only have to store those 100 blocks. So if we compare that to Bitcoin, they have 166 gig, etc, etc. Theoretically, that means that this technology would enable PascalCoin to do 72,000 transactions a second. Now that is pretty crazy. We're talking Visa speeds, so obviously that is something that is very impressive. They also show that even if it was to go to 2072, the actual size of a Pasc chain would only be 6 gigabytes. So because of that, and it doesn't matter whether it's one transaction or a Googleplex of transactions in that time, is that because of the way that the actual architecture is designed, it doesn't matter. It will hash everything at that 100 block mark or that checkpoint, add it to what was there, and we continue forward. So yes, every 100 we're going to have an increase in size of the chain, but it's not that big, and it can actually be accounted for irrespective of, like we said, how many transactions go into it. It has, or they are building, a double spend detection service for merchants using a JSON API there. So it allows a merchant to practically call this service within 10 seconds, and it will tell them whether or not a double spend has occurred. Now, if it hasn't at that point in time, the theoretic probability of it occurring after that is so low that for a cup of coffee, it wouldn't matter. And like I said, the closest thing to this is Mimblewimble, which I really love. Mimblewimble combined with Bulletproofs could very well be an incredible project. We're seeing some people start to use it. It's definitely all theory, but impressive to say the least. Like I said, second layer services there, dApps and all of that sort of stuff. We're not going to get into it, or monetized APIs. So get Passer. So with Pascal, you actually get a Passer account. Getpasser.com is somewhere you can actually get one of those accounts. And it practically is checking for anyone sending 10 Passer or more, 10 Pascal or more, to that address 77 suffix 44, and if so, what it does is practically checks for an available Passer account in the list, and it provides that back to the user, and then from there you can use the Pascal wallet and send your transactions back and forth, because you need to be assigned a Passer account if you're not trading on an exchange. So they do have a PIP protocol, so that's a PascalCoin improvement proposals currently. So they're looking at ZK snarks. They're actually looking at C# implementation, because obviously some people don't like the idea of Pascal, but it's all of this stuff here is community driven work, and currently the V3 testnet, or the version 3, has actually gone live yesterday. So that's going to improve TPS and a range of other things. Current to date white papers on the website only provide you information up to version 2. So we'll see what comes out of that and how successful V3 is. So if we have a quick look at that roadmap, so we had the initial launch, miner support, and they've gone through, they've done a deletable blockchain in terms of that 100-point checkpoints, or 100 block checkpoints, account names and types, checkpointing, and implemented the PIP process, and now they're going through wallets, UX, and all that sort of stuff as we move along. And you've got that V3 Alpha testnet. Like I said, that's gone live yesterday. With their pips, you can see them on the website, which ones are active. So you can see top right, your Passer exchange protocol, that is active now, that's been implemented, and you can go to their GitHub and have a look at those. There's some in draft and some that have been proposed and are still being obviously considered. All right, now, what I didn't actually say at the start, but I should have, is that the reason why I picked this really weird, you know, sea iceberg theme is because the fact that it is really very much a coin that is not talked about by a lot of people. Like I said, there is no hype around it. There is no marketing around it or anything like that. They don't have big fat budgets from an ICO, but the technology and the implementation of is very fluid. So what I'm kind of depicting here is the fact that the genesis and the tech is very underwater. It's unknown, but the future should very well be something that is bright for this particular coin, if not from a potential investment opportunity for you. And like I said, this is not advice, but if you have a look at what we've just talked about in the tech and what we're about to look at, you'll see where there could be some potential gains to be made in the future. So let's take a look at the future. So what do the community need? So if you go and trawl through anywhere of Reddit, or you've been a part of the Pascal kind of journey to date, they have a Discord and all of that sort of stuff. The UI and the user experience is lacking. So currently they've focused so much on the tech that the design, the wallet, the actual experience to get a passer in the past was very hard. That is starting to improve. However, it still needs to go that one step further to really, you know, mark themselves as a cryptocurrency moving forward. So marketing, of course, they are looking at a potential rebrand, but they simply don't have the funding for that. So hopefully in the future that comes about. Exchanges, and we'll have a look at some of the exchanges after this. Because it's not an ERC20 clone or a Bitcoin clone, it's really actually hard for them to implement this on exchanges, because they don't have a, you know, a funded dev team or anything like that, because it is community driven. Unfortunately, they don't have the talent pools available to, you know, offer up developers to help that integration process, even if exchanges did want to take them on. So we'll have a look at the exchanges that they've applied for, because they're certainly doing work in that space, because currently they're on one main exchange, on Poloniex. That is it. So you'll see why there's a very good opportunity here. And like I said, the development community, we need to obviously build that out. We need people to start talking about the individual coin itself if they were to see this you know, get above everything else that's happening in the market. There's 1,000+ cryptocurrencies available on ICO Bench right now, which makes it a very hard market to crack, because this coin's been around for years. So let's have a look at that current market state. Well, it has a circulating supply of 19.6 million. Now, if you compare that to Bitcoin, 21.5 million, or I believe that's what it is in the white paper. Everyone talks about it as 21. It's only on Poloniex as a large exchange. I think they're on 7 in total, but Poloniex is the only big wig. It had an all-time high of 5.63 USD and currently is sitting at 77 USD. Now, obviously, that's because of the bull run up at the end of 2017, and now we're seeing the bears, you know, out to play. However, you can see that there's obviously quite some growth in the difference there between the current to the all-time high, and specifically with a circulating supply of 19.6 million. It doesn't take a whole heap of money to make something like this fly. So let's have a look at their website just quickly. So it is PascalCoin.org. Go through, have a look at the stuff going on. They've got a bit. You can go have a look at their white papers and all of that sort of jazz. Nothing too crazy there. But this here is actually a list of all the exchanges that they've applied for. So 65 in total. As you can see, they're waiting. Some of them are asking for 10, 20 BTC to actually even look at them. And obviously they're keeping a list here of what they're doing to make this happen. So they are certainly putting the work in and hopefully going to get some traction with some of these bigger names exchanges, specifically Binance or Bittrex. How good would that be? But until that occurs, you know, we're still a little while off getting mass adoption onto this coin, but I certainly wanted to cover it because they do have some very interesting technology, and it's definitely worth a look at. So like I said, guys, I'll try and get in touch with Herman again here in Brisbane and get an interview out. If not, like and subscribe in the meantime, and we'll talk to you guys soon. Cheers.